Welcome back, everyone, to Radio Row in preparation for Super Bowl 60 here in San Francisco with Front Office Sports. I'm Baker Machado, and we are joined by the Hall of Famer, the greatest running back of all time in my eyes, Emmitt Smith. Sir, good to see you. How you doing?
Pleasure. I'm good. And you?
Great. Tell us what you're up to. What's going on right now?
Well, I'm here with Emergent, Ready to Rescue campaign, spreading awareness around the Narcan nasal spray and opioid overdoses and epidemics. We're trying to encourage people to pick up a can of Narcan and carry it with them. We also have a carrying case right here that I have right here.
I love that. I was just about to ask you about that.
This new carrying case right here carries two cans of spray of Narcan within it. You can put it on your backpack, carry it with you. Go to narcan.com / carry case, carry Narcan, and you can go from there. So we're just trying to help save lives and trying to spread the word around from an awareness standpoint.
Absolutely, and we know Narcan does, in fact, save lives, so I'm glad that you're partnering with this company. Let's talk some football here. Obviously, a lot of talk has been about the Hall of Fame right now, and Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft not getting in there. I'm curious your thoughts about all of this, because I saw you made a comment on First Take that, Tom Brady can't get in the Hall of Fame, then you wouldn't have been able to get in the Hall of Fame. What does this mean for Belichick not getting in? Does this mean an Andy Reid can't get into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I don't know what it means for Andy Reid, but it definitely means that right now, as it sits today, Belichick has been snubbed from the Hall of Fame because he is the most winningest Super Bowl coach that the game has ever seen. Whether he was a defensive coordinator or head coach, and he has more rings than anybody. And so for him not to get in as a first ballot Hall of Famer has placed a cloud over the 5 guys that are in there, the 5 guys that deserve to be in there. And they deserve to be in there, and we shouldn't be talking about Belichick or Kraft.
Right.
That shouldn't even be a subject right now. It should be a celebratory moment for Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees.
Yes, very good point.
Kuechly, and everyone else. But to answer the question and to deal with the questions are the distractions from the real matter. Who voted, why they voted that way, and they need to address the questions, not me or anyone else. They need to be addressing those questions because they made the vote. They created the hysteria that's going on right now, and they forced guys like myself and others to make a comment on it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it is our Hall of Fame. It is ours, and at the end of the day, it should be full of quality, and it should be done the right way.
No, you bring up a really good point, and one thing we've heard a lot from people is, if you're one of these voters, let's have some transparency. Who did you vote for? It feels like there's such a secretive process in all of this.
Well, I know for an athlete, when we make mistakes, our mistakes are made publicly, and they sit back and write about them.
Right.
And they talk about them. And they write sometimes before they get all the facts. And yet, when they get the facts, they don't. When they retract their statements, it's at the back of the paper. So right now, they need to be up front dealing with the issues like we have to deal with issues every day after the ball game. When you throw an interception, the quarterback got to come talk about what happened. When you lose a game, we got to come talk about what happened. When you win the game, you got to go talk about what happened. So in this case, why did you vote this way?
Right.
What was your reasoning?
Right.
Convince me to be on your side.
Right.
Because right now, I don't understand it. And if you got some legit reasons, then maybe I can understand it. Maybe I can support the case. But right now, we're dealing with something that's a distraction. And it doesn't need to be a distraction around this Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, no, look, I think you're saying things that we're hearing, especially from a lot of players out there. Another thing that players have sort of been criticizing, or at least they've been telling me here, is about this potential 18th NFL game. Robert Kraft,
I don't like it.
I know, I was going to say, Robert Kraft seemed to indicate it seems like it's inevitable, but yesterday, Patrick Surtain told me he absolutely hates this idea. DeMarcus Lawrence said, maybe if I'm getting paid, maybe. But I think it seems mostly universal from players. They're not on board with this extra change. Just maybe the wear and tear on the body, too.
Yeah, I think that's the part of it. That's the problem right there, the wear and tear on the body. I mean, playing 17 games is a long season already.
Yeah.
Why add an 18th game?
Yeah.
If you were so concerned about head trauma and injuries, you think an 18th game on eliminate head trauma?
Right.
No, that's more chances for me to get banged in the head. You think the Pro Bowl is worth the Pro Bowl right now? That's why you're playing flag right now.
Right.
You have made adjustments. So Stop lying to people. Tell people that the 18th game is about extra money.
Right.
Because that's really what it's about. At the end of the day, the players don't want to play the 18th game. Hell, they didn't really want to go to 17. But we did.
Yeah.
And so don't talk to me about things that.
Well, especially if the argument is, oh, well, shorten preseason. But I think for most players, unless you're trying to make the team, preseason's a different beast. Get shorten the preseason, I don't think really matters to a lot of players.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't, because some players that don't even really play into the preseason.
It's a vacation for some of them.
It's not necessarily a vacation, but because they are practicing, they're practicing throughout, but they may not be playing the game.
Right.
However, though, to your point, preseason is the preseason, and it's there for an evaluation period. How much your team has improved, and what talent looked like on the football field, and what talent that you can keep on your team and on your roster, which ones you're going to let go.
I got to ask you about your team, the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, the Micah Parsons situation was interesting. You've had your time with Jerry Jones, intense negotiations as well. There's a couple other players for the Cowboys this year, too, that are clearly going to have those sort of negotiations with Jerry Jones as well. I guess give us some insight into what those conversations with Jerry Jones is like, because you have actually said that it's a really tough negotiation with Jerry Jones, and Micah Parsons could probably relate to that.
Well, it is a tough negotiations, and the way Jerry probably likes to negotiate these days, back in my days, he was doing it new. It was new. Mm-hmm. It was early. Now he's gotten to know players, and he feels like he can go directly to players and get things done.
Right.
However, players do have representation. There has to be respect on both sides, and there has to be give and take on both sides. The one thing I can say about being in Dallas versus being in other places, unless you're in the state of Florida, Texas, maybe Arizona, the cost of living is pretty similar. Other states, taxes are killing you. Mm-hmm. Whether you're in California, New York, places that you don't necessarily want to be, because the taxes are killing you, the cost of living is killing you.
Right.
So for guys that are in Texas, they need to evaluate or take under consideration where they're going, how much is being offered, how much is going to be taken away from you, and do I have a quarterback that can give me the football, or a team that can give me longevity in terms of life beyond the game. Mm-hmm. The Dallas Cowboys offer a lot of those things. And if you bring winning ways back to the table, then it's a really long tail as well.
I want to ask you about Deion. I am a Colorado Boulder alum. I am a donor to my school. I love my Buffaloes football program. But there has been some concern in this NIL college environment of spending on players who then leave after 1 year. Right. And I feel like, for Coach Prime, it's hard to keep a lot of these guys and then go in the portal and they're gone the next year. I guess what's your take on sort of the current landscape of college sports? And do you think somebody like Deion will be able to turn things around in Colorado, that we could finally get some wins in there?
I think the portal is going to help someone like Colorado and someone like Deion.
Yeah.
I think the portal helps there because Deion is trying to build a team and players that really want to be in that system and really want to be with Colorado. He's not building guys that want to be transitioned. You don't go to Colorado to transition to go to some other place.
Right.
You go to Colorado so you can play.
Right.
There's a real opportunity for you to play. And if you can't cut it at Colorado, then you might not be able to cut it any other place. And so that's the thing that players have to understand. It's hard for them to understand that. All this going for the money going to run out of sooner or later. You're going to have to settle down and play some ball. And you can't keep blaming things on others when you have to start taking on responsibility for yourself. And I love what Deion is doing and what he's trying to build out there. He's providing the right environment for people to compete, learn, grow, and have an opportunity to go to the next level. And no one's better at giving you what the next level look like than what Deion is doing. And so I'm with it. I understand that the portal is not for everybody. And I understand that there's also NIL programs that are much larger than the one that Colorado has. So that environment itself has to, at some point, going to have a cap on something. They're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And they should only allow you to transfer no more than one time, or maybe two times if a coach gets fired within the tenure that you're there.
Or options in the contracts that players then get bought out by another school that like.
Or you're not obligated to pay the rest of the money.
Right. Exactly. By the way, have you ever thought about doing coaching like what Deion's doing?
It crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, how much money do you think you would have made in NIL if that was around when you were at Florida?
Let me just say this: I was Gatorade National Football Player
Right.
of the Year
Yeah.
coming out. Rushed for more yards than anybody in high school history at that time. Rushed for 104 touchdowns. You tell me.
Wow. Look, there's some players that were making what $5 to $7 million a year in NIL. I think you'd be making a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Em, it's such a pleasure to have you
All right.
here, man. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you.
Yes, and stay with us. We got more, some of the biggest interviews headed your way right here with Front Office Sports.